Hello, hi. I am Shaivindraj. Today we will discuss 2021 JAM Chemistry, the solution of 2021 JAM Chemistry. We'll discuss all the questions in detail. But before starting, I have something to say because we are dealing questions in detail. So this video will be lengthy. So the complete question cannot be solved in a single video. We'll solve first 30 questions in first video, then the next video will solve the next 30 questions. Okay, let's start. So this is the first question. So before starting, I took this question from the IISc Bangalore website. You can search in Google. I give the link of these questions in the comment box. You can take it from there. So this is directly from IISc website. So the order of the questions is as they're given. So let's start. This is the first question. The correct order of pK for the compound 1 to 4 in water at 298 Kelvin is. The molecule is given HCO, CO 4 times, HCO, CO thrice PPH3, HCO, CO thrice POPH3, and HCO, CO twice PPH3 twice. Okay, let's see how can we solve this, how to find the answer for this one. So the question is like this. 4 options are given. First one, HCO, CO 4 times. This is the first molecule. Second molecule, HCO, CO thrice PPH3. This is the second molecule. This is the second molecule. Third molecule, HCO, CO thrice POPH3. POPH thrice. And fourth molecule, HCO, CO twice, PPH3 twice. Okay, these are the 4 molecules given. Okay, these are the 4 molecules given. Okay, out of these 4 molecules, we should arrange them in the order of pK value. Okay, let's see how can we do this. So for that, to do this problem, we should know how pKa is directly related to our acidity. How pK is related to acidity. Okay, so what is the order of, first we should find the order of acidity of this molecule, and then we should know the relation between pK and acidity. Okay, first let's find the order of acidity in this 4 molecule. Okay, so what makes a molecule more acidic? Okay, how can we determine the acidity of this molecule? The idea is the molecule which give H plus easily is more acidic. Okay, out of this 4 molecule, which molecule will give you H plus easily? That is the idea. Okay, the molecule which will give you H plus easily will be more acidic. So that is the idea. So how can we find which molecule will give you H plus easily? So that's very simple. The idea is after the removal of H plus, we will get an anion. Okay, this molecule will produce an anion. After removal of H plus, this will give you CCO 4 times minus. Okay, this is the first anion, and this molecule will provide CCO thrice PPH3. Okay, this will provide this anion. Okay, CO thrice POPH3. This is the anion produced by third molecule, and we have CO twice PPH3 twice. this is the anion produced by the fourth molecule. Okay, the stability of this anion determines the acidity. Okay, the anion after removal of the H plus is more stable, then that molecule will be more acidic. Okay, so we should find the order of stability of these anions. Okay, first, second, third, and fourth. Okay, so what makes this molecule more stable, this anion more stable? That is the question with us. So how can we find out? The idea is the molecule which stabilizes this extra minus charge is more stable. Okay, so the molecule is charged, the molecule is charged, the molecule which can handle that minus charge, okay, which can accommodate that minus charge easily is more stable. The charge density of that molecule should be less. So how can we find out? The idea is we have these molecules have different ligands. Here we have CO, here we have CO plus PPH3, here we have POPH3, and here we have CO and PPH3. Okay, so we have to compare CO, POPH3, and PPH3. Okay, so these are the different molecules given. The metal is same, the charge is same. Okay, so we should compare the property of this ligands. Which property we should compare? We should compare the pi accepting ability of these ligands. Okay, the pi accepting ability, because these ligands can accept electron from metal, that is known as pi accepting ability. So if we have much more good pi acceptor, then that pi acceptor can remove this minus charge that makes this molecule stable. So the presence of good pi acceptor reduces the electron density of this complex, so that makes this complex more stable. So that is the idea. So the pi accepting ability of these ligands are like this: CO, POPH3, POPH3, and PPH3. Okay, this is the pi accepting ability order. So CO is the very good pi acceptor. So the presence of CO will stabilize the molecule. So you can see it here. We have CO4 minus. This is highly stable. And here we have 3 CO and 1 PPH3, and here we have 3 CO and 1 POPH3. POPH3 is more good pi acceptor than PPH3, so this is more stable compared to this. Okay, so this is more stable compared to this. Okay, so the most stable is this one, second one is this one. So the order is 1, the stability order is 1, 3. Then we have, now we have to compare 4 and 2. 4 and 2. 4 and 2, we have 3 CO group is here, and we have 2 CO group is here. So this is more stable than this. Okay, so then 2, then 4. This is the order of stability. Okay, so if that is the order of stability, then that will be the order of acidity also. Okay, the anion is more stable, then the corresponding species will be more acidic. Okay, that is the idea. So this is the order of acidity in this molecule. Okay, so if this is the order of acidity, then how can we compare the order of acidity and pKa value? So that is it. Okay, so that is the question we should ask now. So let's discuss how acidity is related to pH. Suppose we have HCl, H2O, and NaOH. Okay, so what is the value of pH here? Okay, we know it's nearly 0, it is 7, it's nearly 14. Okay, so if the acidity increases, pH value decreases. That means the acidity and pH are inversely proportional. Similarly, acidity and pK is also inversely proportional. So if the order of acidity is this one, then the pK order will be 4, 2, 3, 1. It should be the order. So the 4, 2, 3, 1. So that is the answer is option 3, option C. So that is the answer for first one. Now let's discuss the question number 2. So this is the question number 2. You can see it. For Na plus, Mg2 plus, Al3 plus, and F minus, the correct order of the ionic radii is. This is the second question. This is the second question. Now, how can we solve this question? So, to solve this question, we should have a good idea about the periodic table. The periodic table like this: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, then D block elements. We have now after D block elements, we have beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Okay, then sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. Okay, this is the elements in the periodic table. Okay, this is the elements present in the periodic table, first 18 elements. Okay, so now we are given F minus, Na plus, Mg2 plus, and Al3 plus. These are the elements given to us, means ions given to us. Okay, we should arrange them in the increasing order of their ionic radii. Okay, the correct order of their ionic radii, that is the question. So to solve this, the idea is from left to right. We know from left to right in a period, the ionic radii decreases. Why it decreases? It is because the charge on the nucleus from left to right, the atomic number increases. So the charge on the nucleus increases. So the attractive force between the nucleus and the outermost electron increases. So the outermost orbital will shrink. So the radii decreases. That is the idea. Okay. So from left to right, it decreases. But here for us, there is a problem because the charge on the element is not same. They are different. First one is F minus. So let's discuss. So first one, F minus. Now the number of electron and number of proton. Let's represent the number of electron and number of proton on each one. Let's see. F minus have the atomic number is 9. So there will be 10 electron and 9 proton. Now we have Na plus. It has 10 electron and 10 proton. Sorry, 11 proton. Now Mg plus have 10 electron and 12 proton, and have aluminum 3 plus have 10 electron and 13 proton. Okay, so this is the number of proton and number of electron in each one. You can see it here. It is very clear that from fluorine to aluminum, if we move, the number of proton increases, the number of electron is same. Okay, so the idea is very clear. From if the number of proton increases, the attractive force increases, so the size decreases. Okay, so that is the idea. So the size will be maximum for this one. So the F minus, Na plus, Mg2 plus, and Al3 plus. Okay, this will be the order. So the answer given is F minus, Na plus, Mg2 plus is option C. The answer is option C. This is the question. The question is given like this. The spin-only magnetic moment in Bm of NiCl2PPH3 twice and Mn NCS 4 times 4 minus, NCS 6 times 4 minus respectively are. This is the question. Now let's see how to solve this problem. To solve this, we should know the fundamentals of coordination chemistry. We know how to find out the magnetic moment. The magnetic moment is given by mu is equal to root of n into n plus 2. This is the equation for magnetic moment, and n is the number of unpaired electrons. Okay, this is the thing, but it's by seeing this equation it seems very easy, but it's not that much easy. This question is not that much easy, because to find the number of unpaired electrons, first molecule is NiCl2 PPH3 twice. This is the molecule given. Okay, so to solve this problem, we should know it's a 4-coordinated molecule. We should know whether it's a square planar molecule or a tetrahedral molecule. Okay, that's very important. Okay, then only we can find the number of unpaired electrons. So this is a tetrahedral molecule. We should know it. It's a tetrahedral molecule. For tetrahedral molecule, the electronic splitting, we should use crystal field theory. For tetrahedral molecule, this is the splitting pattern. This is E and this is T2. So the number of nickel is in +2 oxidation state. So there are 8 electrons, D8 configuration. So we have D8 configuration means the electronic configuration should be like this. Okay, so this is the molecule and this is the number of unpaired electron 2, and we should apply this one. So the mu will be equal to 2 into 2 plus 2. So it will be 4 into 2 root 8. Root 8 will be equal to 2.9, nearly 2.93 is given. So the first is 2.83. Sorry, 2.83 is given. So it will be 2.83. Okay, so option B and D. Next molecule is given MnNCS. Next molecule is MnNCS. NCS 6 times 4 minus. This is the next molecule given. MnNCS 6 times 4 minus. For this particular molecule, we should know it's a 6-coordinated molecule. So we should know whether it's a high spin molecule or a low spin molecule. Okay, it's a high spin molecule. It's a high spin molecule. This is the crystal field splitting for octahedral molecule. This is a high spin molecule, and the Mn is in +2 oxidation state. Okay, so D5 system, D5 high spin, the electronic configuration will be like this. So N equal to 5, mu equal to root of 5 into 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2, this is 30 root 35, nearly 5.9. Okay, so 5.92 is given. So the answer is 2.83 and 5.92. Answer is option D, fourth option. Okay, the fourth question. Two sets of quantum numbers with the same number of radial nodes are. Two sets of quantum numbers with the same number of radial nodes are. Let's see how to solve this. So the radial node equal to radial node equal to n minus L minus 1. This is the equation for number of radial nodes. Okay, n is the principal quantum number, L is the azimuthal quantum number. So we can easily, first one, option A, n equal to 3 is given. So 3 minus 4, 3 minus L equal to 0, 0 minus 1 equal to 2. And next option, in the next, it is given n equal to 2, 2 minus L equal to 0, 2 minus 0 minus 1 equal to 1. This is not equal. For option B, n equal to 3 minus 1 minus 1 equal to 1. And next one, 2 minus 1 minus 1 equal to 0. And next one, option C, 3 minus 2 minus 1 equal to 0. Next one, 2 minus 1 equal to 0. So both these are equal. So answer is option C. Okay. Answer is option C. The major product formed in the following reaction is. So this is the molecule given. So if you look to this molecule, if you watch it closely, you can see it here. The reagent given is like this. Reagent given is CF3COOH, comma H2O, CHCl3, 0 degrees Celsius, 1 hour. Okay, this is the question given. So we are treating this molecule with acid. That means acid hydrolysis. Okay, acid and H plus water. Okay, acid and water. So okay, so if you look to this molecule closely, you can see it here. This functional group will react with this acid. This functional group will react, and this functional group, all three functional group can react with acid to give you the reaction. But if you watch it closely, you can see it here. One more thing, it's this one. Okay, the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, and it's only for 1 hour. Okay, normally organic reactions are overnight reactions, means 24 hours like that. We are keeping it for long time, but it's only for 1 hour, and the condition is very mild condition at very low temperature. So in these mild conditions, only most reactive species of this functional group will react with water. With alcohol. With acid. Okay. So the most reactive species is this one. So only the hydrolysis of this one takes place. Okay, you can see all the options are confusing. And the option D, all these functional groups are undergoing reactions. That's also possible, but if the condition is little more vigorous, we could get that one. But in this particular condition, the mild condition, only the most reactive functional group, this one will undergo reaction. So it will be hydrolyzed. So we'll get okay, it will become OH. Okay, this is highly unstable species, and it will be eliminated in the acidic medium. So we will get, it will be converted to aldehyde. So this is the final product you will get. Okay, so the answer is option A. Okay, option A for this one. The answer is option A. So this is the question number 6. You can see it here. So the major product formed in the following reaction is, that is the question. Okay, this is the question given. So we have, okay, you can, if you look at the options, you can see it here. Okay, one option is given like this. First option is given like this. Okay, this is the first option given. So to get this first option, what we should do is, how can we get this option? This is only possible. This alpha hydrogen is eliminated from this one, and it should attack here. Okay, that is how we will get this one. But is it possible? This is definitely not possible, because this is not a base. First of all, if you want to remove this alpha hydrogen, you need a base. These are not at all good bases. They are only nucleophile. And second thing, suppose if there is a minus charge is generated here, okay, Cn minus is also a negative charge species. This is a nucleophile, and this is also a nucleophile. These two nucleophile will not react. So definitely we never get option A. Okay, option A we can easily eliminate. Actually, this is an easy question. Okay, so what is the possible way? So this is Cn minus is the nucleophile, and this carbon can act as the electrophilic center. Okay, sorry, nucleophilic center. This can act as an electrophile. Okay, so what is the possibility it can attack here? And this is the best possible way. So we will get the answer. This is the answer. Okay, O minus Cn will be here, minus charge will be here. And when it comes back, it will be protonated from solvent. Okay, so HCN is given. So it will be protonated from solvent. So we'll get the product like this. Okay, the Cn will be here. Okay, this is the answer, and the answer is option C. So question number 7 is from NMR. So the question is, the compound show proton NMR peaks at chemical shift in ppm 7.312 hydrogen, 7.212 hydrogen, 4.52 hydrogen, and 2.33 hydrogen. The structure of the compound is. So these are the options given. So if you look at the question, you can see there is one peak at 7.3, that is 7.31, and that's corresponding to 2 hydrogen. Okay, that's 7.3 means that is in the aromatic region. Okay, 7.28 is the correct value of benzene. So there will be slight change from 7.28 because benzene has no substitutions. If we have substitutions on benzene, then value will slightly change. So 7 point something is the value of aromatic system. Okay, so 7.31 is given 2 hydrogen and 7.21 2 hydrogen. So aromatic system, aromatic region, we have 4 peaks, 4 hydrogens, not 4 peaks. We have 2 peaks and 4 correspond to 4 hydrogen. Okay, so we have only 4 hydrogens in the aromatic region. So you can see it here, option A, we have 5 hydrogens in the aromatic region, so we can eliminate this option. Okay, these 4 other 3 options have 4 hydrogens in the aromatic region, but you can see it here in this option C, this hydrogen is in 1 atmosphere, this is in another atmosphere, C, D. We have 4 different atmosphere hydrogens are in the aromatic region. You can see it here. These 2 are in the same atmosphere and these 2 are in the same atmosphere. Okay, only 2 different atmosphere hydrogens. This option also have 2 different atmosphere hydrogen, A, HA, and HB, HB. Okay, so we have 4 different atmosphere hydrogen here. So this option also can be eliminated. So the option will be B or D. Okay, now let's solve this B and D. So from the aromatic region, we could eliminate 2 options. Okay, so when you approach the NMR spectra questions, you should adopt this method. You should eliminate the options. That is how you should get the answer in the NMR questions. Okay, so this is the best way. Eliminate the options. So we could eliminate 2 options. Now, if you look at the next 2 peaks, 4.52 hydrogen and 2.33 hydrogen. 2.33 hydrogen can be possible because Me can provide 2.3. Okay, this Me also, this Me 3, we have 2.3, 3 hydrogen. That's why I choose Me. This CH2 have 2 hydrogen only. So this will not be 2 point something because we know primary CH3 group will have 1 point something value, nearly 0.8, 1 value. Okay, because of the presence of this aromatic, it can be 1 point something. Okay, so it should be 1 point something. And one more information we'll get about this value. Okay, so this will be 2 point something benzylic, it will be 2.3 something. Okay, 2.3 something. So for this option D, we should expect 1.2 or 1 point something, 3 hydrogen, 1.3 hydrogen, 1 point something, and 2.3, 2.4, 2 hydrogen. This is the peak we should expect more, but in the question, it's not given like that. We have 2.3, 3 hydrogen, that is matching for this one, and we have 4.5 for 2 hydrogen. Okay, these 2 hydrogen will have 4.5 value because the benzylic we have 2 point something, 2.3 will be for benzalic, and because of the presence of this chlorine, its value will increase. So the option B will be the correct answer. Okay, so that is the answer. Answer is option B. Okay, this is question number 8. You can see major product formed in the following reaction is. Let's see how to solve this. So this is the question given. So pericyclic reaction, it should move like this. So we will get the product like this. Bull bond will be here. We have 2CH3 here. We should find the stereochemistry. It could be either be like this or it could be like this. Cis or trans. This is the two possibilities. Okay. So which will give you the major product? That is the question. So here it is given the molecule is like this. Starting element. We have 6 pi electrons. Okay, we have 6 pi electrons. Okay, so this is 4n plus 2 system. 6 pi electrons means 4n plus 2 system. 4n plus 2 system, and the condition is thermal condition. So we have 4n delta con. Okay, this is the idea. 4n delta con. So 4n plus 2 delta dis. Okay, so we should expect the dis rotation. Okay. Okay. So this is a 4n plus 2. So we should expect a dis rotation. Dis rotation means the stereochemistry here, these two CH3s are trans. Okay. So if dis rotation takes place, the trans stereochemistry will be converted. Okay. So trans will convert to cis. Okay. If con rotation takes place, its stereochemistry is retained. If dis rotation takes place, its stereochemistry will be inverted. So that is the idea. So we have dis rotation. So the stereochemistry will be inverted. So we have trans product. So during this conversion, it will become cis product. So this will be the match. So a pure substance a pure substance M has lesser density in solid state than in liquid state. The delta S fusion of M is plus 25 joule Kelvin raised to -1 mole raised to -1. The correct representative pressure temperature diagram for the fusion of M is. So that is the question. Now let's see how to solve this. So to solve this question, we should know the Clapeyron equation. What is that given? The equation is given like this. So the relation is dou P by dou T is equal to delta S by delta V. Okay, this is the relation. So we should find the relation of this type. Okay, so dou P by dou T is the slope of pressure temperature graph. Okay, so this is the slope of. So we'll get the idea about the slope from this relation. For this particular question, we have it is given delta S is positive is given, and the next information to us is like this. A pure substance M has lesser density in solid state than in liquid state. Okay. Delta S of fusion. So fusion means solid to liquid conversion. Okay. This is fusion. So what is given is the density of solid is less than that of liquid. Okay. The density of solid is less than that of density of liquid. That is given. So we know the density of liquid is high. What about the volume? We need to get the volume of these two species. Okay. So what is the relation between density? Density equal to mass by volume. Okay. density equal to mass divided by volume. Okay, density is mass divided by volume, or volume equal to mass divided by density. Okay, so volume and density is inversely proportional. So if density of solid is less than that of the liquid, what about the volume? Volume of solid is greater than that of volume of liquid. Okay, that is the information given to us. So what is delta V? Delta V is change in volume final state minus initial state. So final state has lesser volume compared to, so volume of liquid minus volume of solid. So we should find this one. Okay, so we got the information that volume of liquid is less than that of volume of solid. So this value will be negative. Okay, so if we apply this idea here, what we will get? Delta S is positive, delta V is negative. Okay, so what about delta V, delta P by delta V, dot P by dot T? What about dot P by dot T? Dot P by dot V will be negative. Okay, so that is the information we'll get. Okay, so if you look at the options, you can see it here. In only one option, the slope is negative. Okay, so that is option B. So the answer is option B. Okay, this is the question number 11. The reaction of BCl3 with NH4Cl at 140 degrees Celsius produce a compound P. Further, P react with NaBH4 to give a colored liquid Q. The reaction of Q with water at 100 degrees Celsius produces R and a diatomic gas S. Among the following, the correct statement is. This is the question. So let's see how can we solve this. Okay, let's see how can we solve this. So we are given reaction of BCl3. So actually, what about this question is? This question is from if we are looking for textbook, I prefer you the Hughie, and in the Hughie book, there's a chapter ring clusters and cages. The question is from this chapter. So this is from the synthesis of borosine B3N3, synthesis of B3N3H6. This is borosine. So this is from the synthesis and reaction of borosine. So let's look at the questions, how to solve this. Okay, so if we treat BCl3 with NH4Cl at 140 degrees Celsius, we get B3N3H3Cl3. This is P. Okay, now we should treat this P with NaBH4. So this chlorine is replaced by hydrogen. We will get B3N3H6. This is borosine. The structure of borosine is like this. This is known as inorganic benzene. Okay. This is the molecule H. This is borosine. If we treat this one with B3N3H6 with water, what we will get is, we will get B, this 3 hydrogen is replaced by OH. Okay, so we will get B3N3H3OH3. Okay, plus, so we are adding 3 molecules of water, 3 OH is added, remaining 3 H2 will be here, 3 H. Okay, and 3 H from this one also. Okay, so plus 3 H2 is the byproduct. So this is Q and this is R and this is S. So if you look at the options, you can see P is B3 and 3H6 is given in the option. That is not correct. Second option, R is BOH and H thrice. That is correct. Okay. The answer is option B. Second option is correct. All other options are wrong. Okay. The complex that does not obey 18 electron rule is. The complex that does not obey 18 electron rule is. That is the question number 12. CME3. So these are the complexes given. So now let's check the 18 electron rule. Okay. So we have the electronic contribution from eta 5 is 5. Scandium, titanium. Titanium is a D2 system. So 2 from D and 2 from S. So total 4 electrons. CO is a 2 electron donor. 4 into 2, 8. Plus this minus 1. Okay, this minus charge. So total is this one 5 plus 9. 5 plus 4, 9. Plus 1, 10, 18. This is following 18 electron rule. Okay. Mn is a D5 system. D5 plus 2 from S orbital. 5 plus 2. SnPH3. Sn is the element from the group of carbons. So it has the same property of carbon. So if carbon, how we can say the electronic contribution of carbon is, if carbon is as such, 4 electron donor, CH 3 electron donor, CH2 2 electron donor, CH3 1 electron donor. Okay, that is how we should go for the carbon. So apply the same idea for the carbon family. Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead, all are having the same property of this carbon. Okay, so tin 3 valency is satisfied just like CH3. So it's a 1 electron donor into 2. It's okay. 1 into 2 means 2. Okay. Okay. So here we have 7 plus 2 plus CO is a 2 electron donor. So 8 plus 1. Okay. 9 plus 10 plus 18. This is also following 18 electron rule. What about this one? 5. Iridium. Iridium is cobalt, rhodium, iridium is a D7 system. So 7 plus 2, 9. Plus CH2 is a 2 electron donor. 2 plus PME3 is a 2 electron donor. Okay. 14, 16, 18. This is also following 18 electron rule. Lanthanum, hafnium, tantalum. So it's a D3 system. So 3 plus 2, 5. 3 from D orbital and 2 from S orbital. 5 plus chlorine is 1 electron donor. 3 plus PET3, just like PME3, it's a 2 electron donor. 2 into 2, 4 plus CH. This structure is CH, C, Me, Me, Me. Okay, this is the molecule. Carbon having 2 valency is 2 electron donor plus 2. So let's 5 plus 3, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2, 14 electrons. So this is not following 18 electron rule. So the answer is option 4. Okay, option D. Hybridization of central atom in I3 minus ClF3 SF4 respectively are. This is the question. The hybridization of central atom in I3 minus ClF3 and SF4 respectively are. Okay, so let's see how to solve this. The molecule are given I3 minus ClF3 and SF4. Okay, so if you're going for this structure to calculate the hybridization, we have equations and all other things, but I am talking about the simplest way how to calculate the hybridization of this molecule. If we look at the Lewis structure of this molecule, you can see this is the Lewis structure I, and iodine has, central iodine has 7 electrons in the outermost orbital and 1 minus charge. 2 electrons are used for the formation of these 2 sigma bonds. So 6 electrons remain. So this will be the structure of this molecule. Okay. ClF3, we have chlorine. We have the same situation here. 3 bond pair. This is the Lewis structure of, okay, ClF3. We have 7 electrons for chlorine. So 3 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. What about SF4? SF4 has seesaw structure. F. Okay. So we have 3 lone pair plus 2 bond pair. Here we have 3 bond pair plus 2 lone pair, 4 bond pair plus 1 lone pair. Okay. So what about the total number of pair of electrons? We have 5 pair of electrons. Here also 5 pair of electrons, 5 pair of electrons. Okay. If you want to get 5 pair of electrons, what is the hybridization needed? There are only two chances. Okay. sp3d or d3s, d2, sp3d2, sp3d or dsp3. Okay, these are the two possibilities. You can see it here. Only sp3d is given. So all three molecules have the same hybridization. So the sp3d, sp3d, sp3d is given. So the answer is option C. Okay. Question number 14 is a good question. Now let's check how to do this. The question is reaction of NiCN 4 times 2 minus with metallic potassium in liquid ammonia at minus 33 degrees Celsius gives a complex E. The geometry and the magnetic behavior of E respectively are. Okay. So this is the question given. So let's see how to do this. So the question is this one. We are treating NiCN 4 times. NiCN 4 times. NiCN 4 times 2 minus with potassium in liquid ammonia. Okay. So this combination, we know this combination is usually used in organic chemistry. This is the condition for Birch reduction. Okay. So that is in inorganic chemistry. Let's take it as a reduction condition. Okay. So what happened to this molecule if we take this condition to this molecule? Okay. So what will be the product? So what happened is this potassium can provide electrons. So that means this is a reduction condition. Okay. So this can provide electrons in this particular condition. What happened is this will become NiCN 4 times 4 minus. Okay. So this is the product. So we should find out the magnetic property and geometry of this molecule. Okay. So usually in all the competitive exams, I will give you some examples. CO 4 times, NiCO 4 times, NiC 4 times 2 minus, NiCl 4 times 2 minus. Okay. Okay. There are questions asked to find out the geometry and the magnetic behavior of these molecules. Okay. You can take it as a homework and just do it. Okay. So I'll explain this one. NiCN 4 times 2 minus. To solve this, you should follow valence bond theory. Okay. So here we have nickel. Nickel is in what oxidation state? Nickel is in zero oxidation state. Nickel zero oxidation state. So the electronic configuration is S2D8. Okay. So this is the electronic configuration. So D have 8 electrons in the d orbital and 2 electrons in the s orbital, and we have p 3d, 4s, 4p, and 4d. We have 4d. Okay, so this is the electronic configuration. The excited state, what happened is the electron will excite from here to here. So now it become a D10 electronic configuration. Okay. So even though the ligand is very strong here, CN is a strong ligand, but inner orbital cannot undergo hybridization because all the orbitals are fully filled. So it can't undergo hybridization. So this is the situation. So it can undergo only hybridization like this. sp3 hybridization is the only possible way. So if it undergo sp3 hybridization, the structure should be tetrahedral, and all the electrons are paired here. You can see it here. So it's a diamagnetic molecule. So the answer is tetrahedral and diamagnetic. Okay. So the answer is option 2. Now let's move on to question number 15. The decreasing order of C double bond C bond length in the following complex is. Okay. So this is also a very good question. Now let's see how to do this. So to solve this, the question is from scissor salt. The structure of scissor salt is this one. PT CH2 Cl Cl Cl. Okay. And this is the molecule. First molecule is given like this minus charge. This is the complex. Okay, this is scissor salt. Okay, if you have substitutions here, all are having minus charge. Okay, so now we are asked to find the bond length of this one, C double bond C. So how can we do this? It's actually not that much difficult. The idea is just like our carbonyl stretching frequency, we all you might be carbonyl stretching frequency. Okay, so the idea is this C double bond C forms bond with this platinum like this. Okay, similarly this have pi back donation also. Okay, two types of bonds: sigma bond by donation of electron from CH to platinum, and the filled orbital of platinum will give back the electrons. This is known as pi back donation. Okay, if the pi back donation increases, what happened is that pi electrons gives to the antibonding orbital of this one. Okay, see, the antibonding orbital of C double bond C is filled by the back donation of electron from the metal. So if pi back donation increases, what happens? Bond strength decreases. That means bond length increases. Okay, bond strength decreases because the electrons are filled in the antibonding orbitals. Okay, that is the idea. So what factor increases the pi back donation from metal to ligand? That is the question. So here we can see it. Cn is given. It's a good electron puller. So if the presence of this type of electron pulling substituents on carbon, that will make the pi back donation easier. So that will pull the electrons from metal to ligand. That means this bond strength decreases. Okay, the presence of electron withdrawing group decreases the bond strength. That means increases the bond length. So you can see in the options there is no substitutions here. So 2 is the bond length of 2 will be higher because of the presence of this 4Cn. Now we have fluorine here. We have 4 fluorine here, 2 fluorine here. So next comes this one 4. Okay, next comes 3, then 1. So this will be the order. So the answer is 2, 4, 3, 1. Answer is option 3. Answer option 3 is the answer. Okay, so answer is option 3. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, next move on to the next question is question number 16. Question number 16. This is question number 16. This is from Bioinorganic. So the question is the correct combination for metalloenzymes in the column 1 with the reaction in the column 2 is. That is the question. So the answer is cytochrome P4 if the question is. So what is the reaction of this catalyst? So biological catalyst, that means enzymes, do in our body. So that is the question. So cytochrome P450 is given, catalase is given, galactose oxidase is given. So we should by heart all these things. The answer for this question is this one. Question number 16 is option C. So 17 is this one. According to the crystal field theory, the DD transition observed in TiH2O6 times 3 plus is. That is the question. So let's see how to solve this. To solve this, the question asked is TiH2O 6 times 2 plus. TiH2O 6 times 2 plus. TiH2O 6 times 3 plus actually. TiH2O 6 times 3 plus. This is the complex given. Okay, let's see how to do this. So first, we should represent the molecule like this, that is crystal field splitting pattern. So scandium, titanium is a D2 system. If 3 plus is given, then it will be D1. Okay, D1 electronic configuration. This is the D1 electronic configuration representation. Okay, so what is Laporte selection rule says? Laporte selection rule says DD transition. That means gerate to gerate and ungerate to ungerate transitions are forbidden. Okay, this is forbidden transition. Okay. Okay, actually we usually represent it as T2G and EG. You can see both these are GG. Okay, these two orbitals are gerate. So from T2G to EG is what? Forbidden transition according to Laporte selection rule. Okay, all DD transitions are forbidden transition. Now what about the spin selection rule? Spin selection rule says delta S should be equal to 0 for an electronic transition. Okay, that means if you have an electron, if this electron has the spin like this, when it jumps from this orbital to this orbital, the spin of this electron should be same. Okay, so if it jump to this one, so we'll get, this is the excited state. Okay, so during this jump from electron from lower energy level to higher energy level, the spin of this electron should not change. Okay, if it is existing like this, it should exist in the higher excited state also. It should exist like this. Okay, that is what is spin selection rule says. So here in this case, there is no problem for no basic rules of chemistry is violating from this jump to this. Okay, it can exist like this. Okay, so I'll give you some other examples. Suppose my molecule is like this. Okay, D5 system. Okay, if this electron is jumping from this orbital to this orbital, what happened? It cannot exist like this. Okay, it should violate the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Okay, sorry, Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle says, okay, the spin should be different. Okay, so if this electron is exciting from this orbital to this orbital, it cannot exist like this. It should invert its spin. Okay, so in this case, it is a spin forbidden transition, but here it is spin allowed transition. So we can say, so this case it's Laporte forbidden but spin allowed transition. Okay, so that's it. That is question number 17. That is option Laporte forbidden and spin allowed. Answer is option D, fourth one. Okay, so this is the question. So let's see how to do this. OET NaOET. NaOET is a big, this will removed by this NaOET. So this first form, this intermediate carbanion, double bond O, OET is formed. Okay, this will attack this carbon. Okay, so the product will be like this. Let's do it here. O minus H, this carbon. C double bond O, OET, C double bond O, OET. Okay, now in the presence of a base, this will protonate from H plus. We know if we have a hydrogen here, it will undergo even CB elimination. So we will get double bond C, double bond O, OET, C double bond O, OE. Okay, this is the product form. This is the product of first step. Okay, so now what is the second reagent given is NH. NH, Me is the second reagent given. So we know it will undergo 1,4 addition like this. Okay, so the product will be OET and ME. Okay, this is the product you will get. Okay, so when it comes back, this will protonate. This will protonate. So this is the product. This is the product we'll get. Now we are treating this one with lithium aluminum hydride. We know lithium aluminum hydride can reduce this carbonyl group to this aldehyde. This is an ester. First H minus will comes to attack this one to form an aldehyde. Again react with that aldehyde to convert to alcohol. So 2 times you should go for that reaction. So it will become CH2OH. Okay, this will become CH2. This also will become CH2OH. So this is the product after the treatment of lithium aluminum hydride. Now we are treating with this one with HCHO. Okay, so definitely we know the product. Okay, if we treat this one with HCHO, so what we will get is if we treat one with HCHO, and BF3 is given. For first form, BF3 will form a molecule like this. We have NME. Okay, first this will attack here and this will attack here. The protection will take place like that. Okay, so the final product will be this one. Okay, this is the final product formed. So the answer will be option B, second option. Number 19 is like this. The product of PQRS. The products PQRS, sorry, the products PQRS. The product PQRS formed in the following reactions are. This is the question. So 2 reactions are given. So let's see how to do this. Okay, so the complex are first one OH. This is the molecule given. So first HBr is given. So first step, HBr is an acid, so it will react with acid. So we have 2 options here. One is this one, and this can also react with H plus, but we know the lone pair of oxygen is more reactive than a double bond, so this will undergo reaction. So let's go for this one. So it will form OH2 plus, eliminates water minus H2O. So we will get a carbocation here. Okay, so we will get a carbocation. So be careful about carbocation, because once carbocation is formed, there is a chance for rearrangement. If it can form a more stable carbocation, you can see it here. It can form a more stable carbocation like this. So we will get this is a primary carbocation, this is a secondary carbocation. So this is more stable than this one. So definitely it will undergo rearrangement to give this one. Okay, so this is the first step. And if we are starting with this one, so this is this first molecule. Second molecule also have this same structure, because this is given like this. Okay, if we are treating with HBr, So the same thing happened. OH2 plus, and it will eliminate H minus. H2O will get the same. So both the reaction give the same carbocation. Okay. Here onwards, we should think for these two reactions, we have the same conditions. So we get the same product. Okay. So after the first step, we'll getting the same intermediate. So here onwards, we are treating this one CuCN. Okay. CuCN is the reagent. So we have Cn minus. If we have a molecule like this, it will not attack like this. It will be, this is the wrong way. It will be like this. Okay, this will give you the major product. We have two choices here. One is this one. So I am representing it as A, and this is B. Okay, so let's go for two products, A and B. So what is the product of A? The product of A is like this, Cn, and the product of B is like this, Cn, and double bond will be here. This will be the major product. Okay, this is the major product, this is minor product. Okay, now we got major product and minor product here. And if we are hydrolyzing this one, H3O, H2OH plus, okay, H2OH plus, here we are given concentrated HCl, both are same. Concentrated HCl will give you the hydrolysis, okay. But if we have a CN, so we know hydrolysis of CN will give you acid, okay. CN of hydrolysis of CN will give you carboxylic acid, but there is a condition for that. Only primary CN will give you acid. Okay, secondary CN will not undergo reaction, this type of reaction. So only this will give you acid. Okay, so the answer for this question is option D. Okay, option D, you can see both the P is equal to R is equal to this one, and Q equal to S equal to this one. So the answer is option D. Okay. This is the question. You can see it here. The major product E and F. The major product E and F formed in the following reactions are. So that is the question. Major product E and F in the following reactions are. Major products E and F in the following reactions are. That is aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction is given. So this is actually not that much difficult question. So we can see it here, two reactions are given. Br2 ETOH, and the 0 degree Celsius is given. That is very important. Reaction conditions, you should be careful about these reaction conditions. Br2 ETOH and 0 degree Celsius. Okay, so these are the reaction conditions. This is E and this is F. Okay, so first of all, this is pyrrole, this is pyrrole, and this is pyridine. Okay, so pyrrole, when we brominated at whatever the condition is, it will brominate all the 4 carbons. Okay, so at the mild conditions or vigorous conditions or whatever it is, it will give you all the 4 carbon is brominated if we are treating with pyrrole. But in case of pyridine, it is not like that. You should look for the condition. If the condition is a mild condition, the nitrogen will undergo reaction. Okay, if the reaction is at room temperature or the high temperature, it is brominated at the carbon only. Okay, okay, so that is the idea. So you can see in the options, it is very easy options given. So only one option we have, bromine at the 4 carbons in the pyrrole. So the option is option D, 4. Fourth option D is the correct answer. So the net level question, it's a tough question. Okay, so you can see it here. So this is the question. We have a double bond here. So that double bond is the reaction that produces the following as a major product is. That is the question. So the options are given. So I am not using the board here. I can set it from here itself. So you can see it here. The options you can see the answer is we have a double bond here. That double bond is a E double bond. Okay, that's a E double bond. That means trans-like double bond is known as E double bond. Okay, if it is a cis-type double bond, then we can say it as Z double bond. Okay, this is a trans-like double bond. Okay, I will explain it. So in the product, we are given like this. We have double bond O, OCH3. This is the molecule given. And okay, so you can see it here. If a double bond is like this, we call it as Z double bond. Okay, if we have a double bond like this, that means trans-like double bond, then we call it as E double bond. Okay, so this is an E double bond. This is E double bond. Okay, so the first option is given like this. So all the options are very much similar. This is known as olefination reaction. Okay, so we have a double bond O, OCH3. All the options will give you the product. That is the problem with this problem. Okay, we have plus PPH3 is given, potassium tertiary butoxide is given. This is the first option, potassium tertiary butoxide. Okay, potassium tertiary butoxide is a base, it will remove this proton. So we'll get this one. This is known as phosphorylide. This is Wittig reaction. Okay, if we have a phosphorylide, it will attack here and it will give the same product, but the only difference is if the stereochemistry of Wittig reaction is like this. Okay, if we have the stability of phyllide determine the stereochemistry of this double bond. Okay, if this phyllide is a stable halide, this is an unstable halide. Okay, unstable halide will give you Z product. Okay, unstable halide will give you Z product. If any functional group, suppose we have a double bond here, that will become a stable halide. Okay, any factors which stabilizes the negative charge here is a stable halide, but here we are given like this. So this is an unstable halide. So if we are using an unstable halide, the stereochemistry should be Z. Okay, we'll get Z, but in the option it is not given E. Okay, the question is how can we prepare a E double bond? Okay, so if we are taking first option, we will get the product, similar product, but that is the stereochemistry will be Z product. Okay, next option is given like this. Next, CHO, this is given. So this also will give you the same product. This reaction is known as third one, PH COCl, fourth reagent Na bar Hg. This reaction is known as Julia reaction. Okay, this also give the reaction which converts C double bond O to C double bond C. Okay, this is known as olefination reaction. Okay, we have 4 olefination methods. One is Wittig reaction, then second one is this Julia reaction, we have Peterson reaction, and we have Tubbs reagent. Okay, these are the 4 methods to convert C double bond O to C double bond C. Of this, it is given Julia reaction. Julia reaction always gives you E product. Okay, that is the thing you should remember. Julia reaction always gives you E product. So the idea is butyl lithium will remove the alpha hydrogen from this one, so it will form. Okay, so the reaction is just like our Wittig reaction. So the mechanism is very much similar. Okay, so it will attack here. So that is how we will get the product. So Julia reaction always gives you E product. That is you should remember. Okay, what about the option 3? So we'll get the same product. Answer is option B. This one, Julia reaction. Lindlar's catalyst. Okay, Lindlar's catalyst means barium sulfate, palladium, carbon bar barium sulfate. Okay, this is Lindlar's catalyst. The Lindlar catalyst also converts C triple bond C to D C double bond C. We'll get the same product, but the stereochemistry you should be careful about stereochemistry. Lindlar catalyst always give you cis product. Okay, that means Z product. Okay, Lindlar catalyst also give you this Z product. First option and third option will give you Z product, and the third option, sorry, fourth option also will get this similar product. You can, fourth option is like this, OCH3 okay, so we have LIN IPR twice, IPR twice. This is the first reagent. Second one, CH3 twice S2. Third one, NaIO4. Fourth one, 110 degrees Celsius. This is the options in the fourth option. So you can see it here. This is LDA. Okay, LDA is a base, we know. So it will remove the alpha hydrogen from this one. This is CH3SSCH3. This will attack here and remove this one. So we'll get the product like this. Okay, so alpha hydrogen from, so we will get SCH3. This is the second reagent. Now we are oxidizing this one, that will give you, if we are treating with NaIO4, what happened is it will become double bond O. Now if we are heating this one, what happened? It will undergo syn elimination. Sulfur will undergo syn elimination. You should remember that. Okay, it will give you syn elimination to give you the product. Okay, so the double bond will be here, not here. Okay, so the option is option 2. The answer is option 2. So this is question number 22. This question is also not from our syllabus. Actually, this is from GSA NET syllabus, and this reaction, this particular reaction is based on Falcon and model. Okay, let's see how to do this. So major product formed in the following reaction is, this is the question. So let's see how to do this question. This is the molecule we should treat with NaBH4. Okay, so we have a carbonyl group, and carbonyl group is nearer to a carbon which is optically active. Okay, so we should apply the Falcon and model here. Okay, Falcon and model. Okay, Falcon and model. So this is the, this question is based on this idea. Okay, let's see how to do this. To solve this problem, we should represent this in Newman form. This is the Newman representation. Okay, and the bulky group of this carbon should be perpendicular to this carbonyl group. That is how Falcon and model is represented. So propyl group. Now we have hydrogen should be nearer to this Me and Me. This is the Falcon and model representation for this particular molecule, and we have NHBH4 is the reagent. So we have H minus is the nucleophile, and H minus will attack this carbonyl group, and this attack is from a particular angle with this 107 degree, and this angle is known as Burji-Dönitz angle. Okay, Burji-Dönitz angle. Okay, Dönitz. So 107 degree. So let's see how we'll get the product. So back carbon will be SH hydrogen PR group, and front carbon will become like this. Okay, H. This is the H. H is the nucleophile here. It will become OH, and now we have Me. Okay, so this is the product we will get. Now we should convert this to, again, this, the answer is in this format. So we should convert this back to this. Okay, to that you can see this PR and Me group are opposite. Okay, so in this Newman form also we should represent this PR and Me. It should come in the opposite direction, means 180 degree away. Okay, so for that, what I do is I just rotate this back carbon by 120 degree to make this PR to here. Okay, so 180 degree anti-clockwise rotation of back carbon. So we will get the front carbon is as such. Okay, MEOH. This is the front carbon. The back carbon PR will be here. So if I rotate it 120 degree, hydrogen will come here. Me will be here. Okay, this is the representation. So we got PR and Me opposite to each other. So we can see OH and H. These two groups are cis. Me and H are. These two groups are cis. Okay, so this is our representation. So just convert this to this. Okay, so for that, just represent it like this. Okay, Me and this Me here. Okay, and we should represent the stereochemistry of this OH. Okay, you can see this hydrogen and Me are cis to each other, and OH and H are cis to each other. Okay, Me and H. So we have, okay, Me and H. This Me and H is cis to each other. So, okay, so H will be here. So OH will be here. Okay, so this is the representation, correct representation of this one. So you can see this is given as Me is above the plane and OH is below the plane. So the answer is option C. So that is how we should find out the stereochemistry of this reaction. Okay, you should use Falkenhayn model. You can see it here. This is question number 23. So you can see this question is based on the idea Diels-Alder reaction. Okay, this is Diels-Alder reaction. So let's see how to do this question. Okay, 100 degrees Celsius is given. So this is definitely a Diels-Alder reaction. Okay, so two idea is asked. One is the regioselectivity and second the stereochemistry. Okay, in chemistry, particularly in organic chemistry, we have three types of selectivity: regioselectivity, stereoselectivity, and chemoselectivity. Okay, in this particular question, regioselectivity and stereoselectivity are asked. So we have this molecule. So first of all, when we deal with a Diels-Alder reaction, so that's how we represent the simplest Diels-Alder reaction. Okay, so we will get the product like this. Okay, so if you are going for this particular reaction, you first learn the HOMO of this diene and the LUMO of this dienophile will participate in this particular reaction. Okay, HOMO of diene and LUMO of dienophile participate in this particular reaction. So what does it mean? So HOMO means the electron is flowing from this diene to dienophile. That is how it happens. Okay, so if electron is flowing from this to this, what will be the best condition for a Diels-Alder reaction? If we have a electron donating group on this one, if we have an electron donating group on diene, and if we have an electron withdrawing group on this one, that is the best condition for a Diels-Alder reaction. That is not necessary, but that is the, if we have such conditions, then the reaction will be faster. So that is the idea. So if that is the idea, then how can we apply this here? Okay, so if this is the diene reacting with this one, okay, this should be electron deficient. Okay, this should be electron deficient. We know OM is a good electron donor, so this double bond is much more electron rich. This is much more electron rich double bond than this one. Okay, this is also electron donor, but this is much more good electron donor. So this double bond is more electron rich double bond than this. Okay, so compared to this double bond and this double bond, this is the electron deficient double bond. Okay, if we are comparing these two, then if this is the electron deficient double bond, then it will participate in the Diels-Alder reaction. That is the first idea. That's about the regioselectivity. And now let's discuss the stereochemistry. So what is the stereochemistry? if we have a molecule like this, okay, the idea is, suppose this is the molecule, the idea is the stereochemistry of dienophile will retain, and the stereochemistry of, this is a trans reagent, okay, trans reagent, this is a cis reagent, okay. So the product will be like this. This will become cis, and this will become, what about this one? This will become cis. Okay. So the stereochemistry of this dienophile will retain, and stereochemistry of diene inverts. That's the idea. Okay. So in the options, you can see the stereochemistry, these two hydrogen, this hydrogen and Me are cis to each other. The stereochemistry of these two groups will retain. Okay, Me and H should have the same stereochemistry, and this double bond participate in the reaction. So we should expect the product like this. Double bond will be here. Me H. So this is the product you should expect. So the answer is option A. Okay. So you can see the answer is option A. In the following reaction, the compound Q is. The following reaction, compound Q is. This is the question. So this is definitely from the elimination. So this is from the elimination. Okay. So E2 elimination. Cyclohexane, stereochemistry of cyclohexane. We should know the stereochemistry of cyclohexane. So let's see how to do this. Okay. So we should start from the options. First option is given like this. This is the first option given. So how can we represent, if we have a question like this, you should remember one thing. You should approach the question by using chair form. Okay. If you have cyclohexane, if you are dealing stereochemistry of cyclohexane, so definitely you should use the chair form. Okay. So this is the chair form. So when you are writing a chair form, this is known as, the bulky group is known as anchoring group. Anchoring group. So anchoring group should be at equatorial position. Okay. So this should be at the equatorial position, and this are the cis position, equatorial 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is the substitution. So 1 is this one, 1, 2. How can we represent the 1, 2 cis? Okay. So 1, 2 cis means these two chlorine and this isopropyl group are at the cis position. How can we represent? Equatorial axial is cis for 1, 2 position. So chlorine should be here, and 1, 4 position. So for 1, 2, cis should be equatorial axial. Okay. So this should be cis, and equatorial and axial both are trans. Okay. That is how we should represent the 1, 2 position. Okay. So that is how the stereochemistry of 1, 2 position. Now we have 1, 4 position. 1, 2 and 1, 4 are similar. Okay. So this is this isopropyl group and CH3 are trans to each other. So if it is equatorial, then the CH3 should be at the equatorial position. Okay. So now we are treating with NaOH. Okay. This is the condition for E2 elimination. What is the condition for E2 elimination? The two leaving groups should be anti-periplanar to each other. That is the condition. So we have a chlorine here. This is one leaving group. Next leaving group should be anti-periplanar to each other. If we have chlorine at the axial position, then there are the hydrogens at the axial positions are anti-periplanar to this chlorine. Okay. The hydrogens on the nearby carbon, which is at the axial positions to this chlorine, are anti-periplanar to this chlorine. So this can form a product, and this also can form a product. So we should expect two products. But in the options, only one product is possible. Okay. That is how it is given. In the question, you can see only product is given. Okay. So in this particular case, you should get two products. So definitely this is not the option. The second option is given like this. Second option is given like this. CH3, chlorine is here, and CH3 twice. This is the second option. So if we are going for the cyclohexane chair form, then this fourth option, CH3 is at equatorial position, trans. And the third, chlorine is at the third carbon, so here. So what about the 1,3 position? 1,3 position, equatorial are cis or axial are cis. So these are trans, so chlorine will be at the trans position. Okay, 1,3, equatorial and axial are cis. Okay, so that is the idea. So here we should represent the trans representation. This isopropyl and chlorine are at the trans position, so we should represent it like this. So we have 2 hydrogens anti-periplanar to this chlorine. Okay, so you can expect 2 options like this, 2 product like this. So definitely that's also not the option. So now let's see the option 3 and option 4. Option 3 is given like this. C is given like this. CH3, Cl, CH, CH3 twice. So how can we represent it? Okay, anchoring group should be at the equatorial position. CH3 is here, but the chlorine is at cis. So chlorine will be here. So you can see the leaving group is at the equatorial position. So if the leaving group is at the equatorial position, there is no group anti-periplanar to this chlorine. So it should undergo ring flipping. Okay. It should undergo ring flipping. So if we are going for a ring flipping, so how can we represent it? Just the axial equatorial positions will be interchanged. So all the equatorial positions become axial position. So this will become axial. This equatorial become axial. So all the substitutions are at the equatorial position all become axial. Okay. Chlorine will be here. So that is how ring flipping takes place. Ring flipping. Okay. So now our chlorine is at the axial position. You can see the anti-periplanar group at this carbon is already occupied by CH3. This hydrogen is not the anti-periplanar hydrogen. So you can see only one hydrogen is at the anti-periplanar position. So only one product is possible for option C. Okay. Similarly, so this can be answer. C is the answer, but there is one more option. For D also will give you the same type of product. Okay. So D is like this. Okay, this is D. Option D is like this. Chlorine is at this position. So if we are going for the cyclohexane chair form, CH3, chlorine is at the axial position. Okay, sorry, equatorial position. 1,2 trans. Equatorial trans. Okay, you can see you will get this product. So this should also undergo a ring flipping because all the this leaving group is at the equatorial position. So if the leaving group is at the equatorial position, it can't undergo heto elimination. It should undergo ring flipping. Okay. So if it undergo ring flipping, you will get this product, chlorine at the axial position, and this is also at the axial position. Okay, so you can see the anti-periplanar of this carbon is already occupied by isopropyl group. Only this hydrogen is at the equatorial, at the anti-periplanar position. So for D option also, you will get only one product. So this is a wrong question. Actually, we have 2 options. C and D is correct. C and D will give you the correct answer. Question number 25. So monochromatic X-ray having energy 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joule diffracted first order from 200 plane of a cubic crystal at an angle of 8.5 degree. The length of unit cell is in angstrom of the crystal. is. This is the question. So now let's see how to do this question. Monochromatic X-ray having energy 2.8. Okay, energy is given. E equal to h nu, we know that. E equal to h nu is given 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joules. So that is the energy. So we should find out the length of the unit cell. So we should find out the A. Okay. So we have given 200 Miller indices is given. Miller indices is given 200 plane. Okay. So we know the relation between H and L. Okay. H and this Miller indices. Miller indices and this A. Okay. So we know the relation. So first of all, we should use the Bragg's equation here to Bragg's equation. Okay. Bragg's equation says m lambda equal to 2d sine theta. This is the Bragg's equation, because definitely we can just in the question you can say the angle is given, first order refraction n is given, n is equal to 1 and theta is 8.5. all these values are given in the question. We should know the d. Okay, ready? So if we substitute this value here, it is given like this: n lambda equal to 2d sine theta. N is, so lambda equal to, we can say 2d sine theta. N is 1 for this particular reaction. So we should find the lambda. Okay. So, but the energy is given. We know the relation between lambda and energy. We know h nu equal to c by lambda. So we can say h c by lambda equal to 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joules. Okay. Or lambda equal to, okay, lambda equal to hc by 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joules. Okay, we know that. So if we substitute it here, so we will get lambda equal to hc by 2.8, lambda equal to 2d sine theta. So we can say 2d sine theta equal to hc divided by 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joules. Okay, that's what we will get. Ready? Now, we should find the relation between D and A. A by root of h square plus k square plus L square. Okay, this h, k and L are Miller indices. So if you substitute these values here, it is 200. So D equal to A by root of 2 square plus 0 plus 0. So that means D equal to A by root 4 equal to 2. Okay, so D equal to A by 2 is given. So if you substitute the values here, so you can write like this. So we have, if we substitute the value of D here, so 2 into D equal to A by 2. A by 2 sine theta equal to hc by 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joules. Okay, so this also will cut out. Oh, A equal to, sorry, A sine theta equal to hc by 2.8 into 10 raised to minus 15 joule. So that's the relation. So all the values are given. H is given, C is given, theta is also given. So just substitute these values. So you'll get the value. Okay. So it should be in angstrom. So wavelength should be in angstrom. So you will get the answer in meter, and you should convert that into angstrom. So the answer is 4.8. If you calculate the values, you will get the value 4.8. So A will give you 4.8 all the way. If you substitute all the values, you will get the 4.8. Okay, answer is option C. Okay, correction. The volume correction. the volume correction factor for a non-ideal gas in terms of critical pressure, critical molar volume, and critical temperature, and the gas constant R is. So that is the question. Let's see how to do this. This is also not that much difficult question. So let's see how to do this. Okay, we know the relation VC is equal to 3B. This is the first relation, VC equal to 3B and TC equal to 8A by 27B square. Okay, this is the next relation, sorry, 8A by 27 RB. Okay, this is the relation between TC and PC equal to A by 27B square. Okay, so this is the three relation: critical molar volume, critical temperature, and critical pressure. Okay, so this is the values of critical temperature, pressure, and volume. Okay, so if we look at here, you can see 27B. From this one, you can get 27B equal to 8A divided by R TC. So you will get this relation. Okay, from this one. And if you substitute these values here we have PC equal to, let's write like this, A by 27B into B. Okay, so that is how we can represent B square. Okay, and 27B equal to 8A by R. So if I substitute this 27B by this value, so we'll get A by 8A divided by RTC into B. So that is PC. So PC equal to RTC divided by 8A and A cut off 8B. So we will get the relation. Okay, PC equal to RTC divided by 8B. So this is the relation you will get. So this is question. This is option A. PC equal to RTC divided by. So sorry, B is, we should find out the value of B. Okay, B is equal to RTC divided by 8PC. Okay, so that is how we should represent. So the answer is option A. So half-life of a chemical reaction varies with initial concentration of reactant as given below. Okay, so this is also not that much difficult question. This is also a simple question. So what is the relation between the T half and the concentration? So that is what is asked. So we know T half 1 divided by T half 2 equal to A2 by A1 raised to n minus 1. This is the relation to solve this question. So it is very easy. So we can T half for the, from the first column you can get T half is equal to 360 divided by 450 equal to A2 and A1 are the concentration. So concentration corresponding to second column. Okay, so that is 4 into 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to minus 2. Okay, divided by 5 into 10 raised to minus 2 raised to n minus 1. Okay, so the correct statement, this is the question, the correct statement regarding the molecules BF3 and CH4 is, okay, this question is from spectroscopy. So this is also not that much difficult question. This is also easy. So let's see how to do this. So if you are going for the statements, it is given like that. We are given BF3 and CH4. Okay, the structure of this molecule are BF3 is this one and CH4 is this one. Okay, this is trigonal planar and this is tetrahedral. So both BF3 and CH4 are microwave active. Okay, both BF3 and CH4 are infrared active. CH4 is microwave active and infrared inactive. So that is what is asked. So let's see how to do this. So what is the condition for a molecule to show microwave property, microwave activity? Okay, if a molecule to be microwave active, the condition is it should have permanent dipole moment. Okay, so for a molecule to be microactive, it should have permanent dipole moment. That is the condition. So in both these molecules, the dipole moment is 0. Okay, for both these molecules, dipole moment is equal to 0. Okay, so both the molecules are microwave inactive. So first option is given like this. So, and what is the condition for a molecule to show IR activity? What is the condition for a molecule to show IR activity? The condition is it should have change in dipole moment. Okay, change in dipole moment means for IR IR spectra, we are talking about the vibration of the molecule. In IR spectra, we are talking about the vibration of the molecule. So during that vibration, if molecule is generating a dipole moment, then that is what is we call it as change in dipole moment. Okay, during the vibration, if molecule shows a dipole moment. Okay, so that is the condition for a molecule to show IR activity. Okay, so in the options it is given like that. Both the BF3 and CH4 are microwave active. That is definitely wrong. Both BF3 and CH4 are infrared active. That is correct, because it can be if this is moving like this, and if the other CH, if this is the vibration mode, then definitely there will be a vibration activity. Okay, sorry, change in dipole moment. So similarly for this one also you can expect like this. Okay, if the bond length of this fluorine is increasing and these two fluorines are decreasing, then there is a chance for dipole moment. Okay, so both the BF3 and CH4 are infrared active. That can be possible. CH4 is microwave active and infrared active. CH4 is not microwave active. BF3 is microwave active. That's also wrong. Okay, so the answer is option B. Second option is the correct answer. This is question number 30. For the consecutive reaction, X gives Y gives Z. C0 is the initial concentration of X. The concentration of X, Y, Z at time T are Cx, Cy, and Cs respectively. The expression for the concentration of Y at time T is. This is the question. So this question is also from kinetics, and this is from the kinetics of complex reaction. Okay, so for the complex reaction, we know if we have a reaction like this, A gives B gives C, the K1 and K2 are the rate constant for these reactions, then it is given like that. The concentration of B equal to concentration of B is given like this: K1 into concentration of A divided by K2 minus K1 into e raised to minus K1T minus e raised to minus K2T. Okay, this is the reaction for the complex reaction. This is the equation for the concentration of B in a complex reaction. Okay, so if we substitute this idea in our equation, so our reaction is X gives Y gives Z. This is the reaction, and Kx and Ky, Kx and Ky is the initial rate constant for the first and second reactions. Okay, so next the C0 is the concentration is given. Instead of K1 we have Kx. For K2 we have Ky. Okay, initial concentration of A is given as C0. Okay, so now substitute these ideas here. You can say concentration of Y equal to concentration of Y is given by Cy. Okay, Cy equal to Kx into A. Instead of concentration of A, it is given like concentration of A is given by Cx. Okay, Kx into Cx divided by K2 is given by Ky. Ky minus Kx into concentration of e raised to minus Kxt minus e raised to minus kyt. So this is the equation we will get, and this is given by option A. So answer is option A. So that's all about for this video. Thank you. We will meet in the next video. Okay, bye.